Okay, so this is basically just my SketchUp story and what I did with it. And so for those that don't know, Google SketchUp is a 3D modeling software. It can be used to design anything from like mechanical engineering standpoint or just anything you really want to design. And so that's just like a little GIF of the modeling process with SketchUp. And then so this is just the beginning of my whole like SketchUp experience. Like my love for Google SketchUp and 3D design all began with my love for skateboarding. Like I would always skateboard when and so when I was littler, I'd always have my mom drive me to skate parks. And all of the skate parks that I went to, I always just learn about some new design aspect. And when I learned about these new design aspects, I wanted to somehow make my own design, and I had nowhere to like store those designs that I had in mind. And so that's how I got to SketchUp. And so basically the whole reason I started SketchUp was from one little video that I watched on YouTube. Like it just said how to design a skateboard bowl with Google SketchUp. And so I watched that and then immediately got the application and started to try to design my own. And well, that was one of my first designs that I tried to do. It's completely unrealistic, and but I made it, and yeah. And so my progress with Google SketchUp, like I was always trying to get better at 3D modeling. I was always on my computer trying to learn new things, and my mom was always saying it was a waste of time. And so sooner or later I started designing things other than just skate parks. And so like I just started designing snowboard parks and basically like other houses and appliances and stuff. And my teacher, I started doing it for school projects as well. And so my teacher found out, he saw this, what I was doing. And so he hooked me up with the Vail Park crew and to possibly get a job designing the snowboard park for the upcoming season. And so to show them my experience and whatnot, I designed a replica of their park from the previous year. And so I went into the interviews, and once I finished, I didn't get the job, but probably because I was 12 when I entered, and but that just showed me what I could do with SketchUp, and basically all that I could do in the future as well. And so that's the design on the left of the snowboard park that I made for them from the previous year. And then on the right is a little coliseum I made for a history class. And then 3D printing, that's just another one of the things that SketchUp has brought into my life. Amazing thing, really. It's just become such a big part of my life. And it all started with an 8th grade field trip with one of my teachers scheduled a field trip for our Algebra 2 class to go to a 3D print shop right next to our school. And so she promised that I could get one of my skate parks printed. And so I obviously took her up on that. And that's me with my little 3D printed skate park. And once I got that printed, I was really just hooked into 3D printing. And so so I started volunteering at the Vail Library as a 3D printing coach. I would design and print things for whoever came in. That's how I met you. And so after I did that for a while and got really into it, I convinced my parents to get me a 3D printer as well. That's my printer on the left. And then I realized that I really wanted to do more stuff with 3D printing. And so I even did stuff for my science fair. I created a new method for 3D printing from like a 2D printer, and then I started a business at my school as well, selling 3D printed objects for whoever wanted it. And here are some of the prints I made. On the top left, that's a watch band for my dad. It's like custom designed because he couldn't like buy it anywhere and his broke. And then bottom left, this is a little Yoda design that I printed. His right ear is broke off though. And then the top one, I printed that. That was one of the ones that I sold to one of my classmates. It was like an Xbox faceplate. And then I printed Batarang. That's my skate park from before. And on the bottom middle, that's like a really recent print that I did. It's a little art case with all my art supplies. So it's like a little travel pack and a little screw to keep it tight. And then, so the present work that I've been doing, like since the 5 years that I've been working with Google SketchUp, I've worked with it just a lot. So I've gotten a lot better than what I've been doing before. And like more and more things just open up for me in like the 3D modeling realm. And I've been able to like design the 2015 Vail snowboard park. So I was able to get back to that and design that. And I designed a rock climbing gym for somebody. And I taught classes at the Vail Library as well. And so here are some of the designs from that. Top left is design from this past year for the park that I designed. It wasn't 2015-16, it was 14-15. But and then there's 3 more parks that I did as well. The bottom left is the original design I did for the Vail Park. And then the bottom right is the rock climbing gym that I designed for that, yeah, no, bottom right I mean. And so all that just led up to what I've been doing right now. Like I've been working with the Vail skate park to try to get a permanent skate park in the parking structure. It's just like a little 25 by like 225 foot space. And this is one of the other things that SketchUp has brought to me, like brought me this possibility. And like really, this is just like one of my dreams that I've wanted to do since I started designing skate parks, and even since I just started riding skate parks. And so we all started off, like me and this my skate park committee, as we called it. We took the idea to town council, and then after a few months we actually got the skate park approved, and it's gonna get built in a few days. So I'm super excited about that. And that's about all I have. But just like Google SketchUp has like really helped me in so many ways that really either me or my mom, who thought this was a waste of time, really could have never imagined. So yeah.
That's awesome. So I have some questions. You showed a picture of the skate park you designed, and it was colored. Did you paint it, or was you used different?
This one was actually on a professional grade printer at the print shop. So this was printed all in color.
Okay.
But yeah.
So you specify the color.
And
how does that work? Does it use different plastic, or does
so
it spray paint?
This is a whole different printer than the fused deposition ones at that you saw at the library. Like the ones that you usually would see are the desktop printers. They just extrude filament, but instead this one, how it prints is it just does layer by layer of this kind of dust, and on each one of those layers it uses like a inkjet type technology where it just puts down some material that solidifies the dust where it lands. And with that, you can just do any color that you want, layering it up to make a colored 3D print. Yeah.
Can you go back? I had another question a couple slides before that. I can't remember now. So when you said you designed the 1415 terrain park, did they hire you?
This was basically just something that started from the ski and snowboard club that I was in, and one of the coaches knew that I did like design 3D and stuff, and so he actually got the job for me and hooked me up with those people from the Vail Park crew again and let me design that park.
So it actually looked like last season. It looked like you're designed.
For the most part, yeah. But
cool. And anything new and exciting in next year's snow park?
Well, no, that was just a typo. Like, it wasn't the
last year.
15. Yeah. But,
and I know we talked about this, but how old are you? What's going on in school right now for you?
16, and I'm just going to the Vail Ski and Snowboard Academy, and then next year I'll be going on an exchange program to Italy. And
is your 3D printer going to go with you?
No. Yeah.
You said you modded a 2D printer?
Yeah.
Tell us more about that.
So I forgot to put in pictures of that, but I basically just took a 3D file that I had, sliced it up into a bunch of layers, and printed those layers on a clear paper so that when you put them on top of each other, it made a basically 3D print.
Can you tell us more about the skate park? Like, why you would want a permanent skate park in Vail, and how much it cost, and how long it took at this point?
So basically with the skate park, we've had like a wooden skate park in Vail for a while now, and that has to be like moved around every winter, and it's basically near the end of its life. And so how this whole permanent skate park thing happened is I just got, one of my mom's friends was actually looking at a spot in Vail for the skate park, and this is like super hard to find areas in Vail because everything is being used and it's such a small town. And so once he found that, he asked me if it was actually possible to put a skate park there because it was so just long and skinny and there aren't really any skate parks like that. And so I just put together a design for a skate park for him, and that's the one on the bottom left corner. That was my initial design that I put together just to show that it was possible to have a skate park in that space. And from there, we just made the skate park committee, and we brought that idea to town council with the thought that like we could make a permanent skate park, get rid of that wooden one, and just keep this year round so you wouldn't have to just waste money on moving it and all that kind of stuff. And so we finally got that approved, and with a budget of 1.6 million. So and we're trying to get a heated concrete system in there too, so you can use it in the winter as well.
Does that fit in the $1.6 million budget, or is that above?
That's gonna be above, but
What's the height of the quarterback on the far end?
For the snow park design?
No, for the skate park you're talking about. So the bottom left.
On the end of it? Well, that's just basically like there's these big walls on the side of the parking structure. So I just decided to put in the huge wall ride on that end just to like take advantage of that.
So when you showed the pictures of like the Xbox faceplate, is that something that like are there like SketchUp files that people share online, or is that something you have to kind of like build out yourself from scratch?
This is actually one that I found online from Thingiverse, and but like the watch band and that art case and the skate park, those were all ones that I made on Google SketchUp.
Cool. Do you ever like have like how much disconnect you have? Like you design it in SketchUp and like it's going to work, then you print it and then you're like,
oh yeah.
slightly off.
Well, that's like how I started off was basically just I had no idea how it was gonna work, so I printed it and then it would just come out just nowhere how I wanted it to be. But now I've got like a system going where I can just figure out how I want my designs to work with the 3D printer, and it just turns out exactly how I want it. Like that art case that I made, that was all printed first try with no modifications, so yeah.
So definitely like some finesse, trial and error.
Yeah, definitely.
You have like this
Like you have to find the tolerances and stuff, get that, like to know all that for your printer and everything, but.
So you also compete, or did compete as a snowboarder in some different places. Can you talk a little bit about that, and if 3D printing technology might help in any way with that? I'm thinking, as I read an article recently about Lindsey Vonn using virtual reality to ski courses she hadn't skied before.
Oh wow.
So if you could like get a printout of a park, you know, like in Salt Lake City, let's say, that you've never been to, and like visualize your runs or something.
Okay. Well, my experience with snowboarding is I did competitive snowboarding like for the past few years, but like I did the European Open last year, got second in the junior jam category, and then I competed against the guy who won the Olympics, and like that was just like a super fun experience for me, and snowboarding was a huge part of my life. But so I definitely think 3D printing can be a part of the snowboarding industry, not really in a virtual reality kind of way though. I feel like you could print like parts to your like equipment and stuff. Yeah, I was thinking about printing some bindings for my snowboard, but I haven't gotten around to that yet, but definitely think it could be helpful for that.
Awesome.
What if you wanted to do like a fly-through through your park there, your skate park?
Oh yeah.
You could do that.
You could do that as well. Just like if you have any part designs that you want to sell to somebody, like for a park that you want to be made, you can just make a fly through and just give them a better visual of it, I guess.
And is the skate park going to be free?
Yeah.
For people to use?
Completely free.
Have you ever been to the Denver skate park?
Yeah, I have.
How does it compare in size to that?
It's a lot bigger.
The Denver?
Yeah, that one's pretty big, and this one's probably from this wall to that wall in width and just super long. But,
Is there an advantage for it being long and skinny versus?
well, actually, yeah, there is. Like for the long and skinny park that we're dealing with, there's a lot more just direct lines back and forth through the park. So there's no like crossing lines with the skaters, and nobody gets like, no one crashes into each other or anything. But that's like a problem I've seen with the Denver skate park, because it has that just giant square shape, and in like in one section of the park it all funnels down into one little feature, and so when everyone goes down into that feature, they all just have to like dodge each other not to just get annihilated. But like with the park that we're dealing with in Vail, it's just long and skinny, so you just get basically just like 2 or 3 lines back and forth, and so there's no collisions.
And you said construction's starting soon, and how long will it take? When will it be ready?
It's going to take 2 months approximately. So it's supposed to start August 1st, but should start in the next few days.
Are you going to be there for the, like, is there a ceremonial
I'm actually, well, I don't know if there's, I don't know if there's going to be a ceremony for the groundbreaking, but I definitely want to be there. And there's going to be a ceremony for the opening too, when it's actually done and built. But I'm not going to be there for that because I'm going to be in Italy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I think that's about it.
All right.
We got some speaker gifts for you
Oh, sweet.
for making the trip here.
Thank you.